Should I start?
Yes.
There is a deep philosophy behind setting up of this Chaitanya IAS Academy. We must first understand how the IAS exams are conducted and what is the present position. Now, what happens is the IAS is one of the toughest competitive examinations in the country. It is because candidates have to obtain at least master's level of competence in 2 subjects. And in addition to that, there is the general studies, which covers, the course is unlimited really. So it covers a huge spectrum, of issues, international issues, national issues, economic issues, industrial issues, so many things. Now, how does one prepare? That means you need to have a broad-based knowledge of things as well as a knowledge in depth of certain subjects. Now, today what happens is, students after they pass their graduation or the master's degree, they take a shot at the IAS examination. They throw a stone. So they study for about 6 months or so. And then they say, if I get selected, it's fine. If I don't get selected, it's fine. Now, we wanted to change this because people who generally join the IAS have a different mindset, And these are the people who should understand how the society works, how the people, various classes of people in the society interact with each other. And that means they need to have a social approach to the whole problem. A social awareness, a social consciousness is extremely important. So what we thought is, we would catch the people, students quite young in their age. And as they are doing their intermediate, simultaneously they should prepare for the IAS also partly. Similarly, as they are preparing for the graduation, they should also prepare for the IAS. And once these are over, okay, give them a year more when they would totally concentrate on the studying for the IAS. So what we do is, we pick up boys and girls who are good, and then simultaneously along with the intermediate examination, the curricula for that, about 30% of the time is devoted on training them for the IAS. That covers the social sciences, it covers history, it covers sociology, anthropology, and then some amount of general science, some amount of mathematics, statistics, and then English, writing the English essays, and then personality development, in the sense, how do you become a confident individual, Self-confidence is the most important thing. Then writing, English writing skills, reading skills, and speaking skills, and public speaking, communication, all these things are taught to them. That is 2 years. Then in the 3 years of the degree again, parallel with the degree courses, you have to get your degree. But parallel to that, about 30% of the time is again devoted to the training for the IAS subjects. And this includes field visits to various government programs where they are being implemented in an exemplary fashion. Then it includes guest lecturers from people who have distinguished themselves in the society, both in civil services as well as outside. And then at the end of the 5 years of graduation, one more year of finishing them, and then 6 years after they join the intermediate. Let's say intermediate they join, the intermediate is the 10th standard they join, so 15 years, 16 years, another 6 years. By 22, he should be able to face the IAS examination very confidently, and in the first or second attempt, he or she should be able to make it. This is the philosophy behind the whole thing.
Yes, sir. We got this one. Sir,
People sometimes ask me a question, why should anybody join the IAS? Well, there is no compulsion for anyone joining the IAS, but I have spent about 47 years with the IAS in the government. And I wanted my children, I have 2 boys, to get into the IAS. Of course, they didn't get into the IAS. They chose their own profession. But I would never change, my profession. I mean, given a chance again, I would once again appear for the IAS, once again serve my entire career in the IAS. Why? I think IAS is a career where at a very young age, you are made responsible for making the policy, helping in making the policy for the entire country. In various fields, let it be the industrial area, let it be in the development area, let it be in finance, in banking, let it be in agriculture, in rural development, in national security, in telecom policy, in broadcasting policy, you name it. In running of the country, which is very complex though, you get the highest echelons of power or of position, of responsibility. So imagine India is a vast country. When you are at the helm of affairs, either directly making the policy or helping the minister to make the policy, and thereafter helping in implementing that policy to the betterment of the country, to the good of the country, imagine what pride you get in that particular service, Now, people might join the IAS for various motives, but I'm not talking of anything else. But if you are committed to the growth of the society, the growth of the nation, if you want to do, everybody contributes in their own way to the nation's growth. A doctor does it in his own way, a computer engineer does it in his own way. But they are in sort of niche areas, limited areas. But if you are an IAS officer, as I said, you start with as a district officer. You train for a few years as an assistant collector. Then you become a district officer. Then you become a secretary to the government, generally at the state level. Then you become a secretary to the government of India. And then it's not only in India. Then what happens is it's a globalized world now. Now everything that happens in India has to take into account what is happening in the world. Also, what you do has an impact on the world, and what the world does has an impact on you. So in the global area, every policy is dictated by global economics and global politics. So you go abroad, you participate in the discussions of the World Bank, you participate in the discussions of the International Monetary Fund, World Health Organization, World Trade Organization, UN bodies, various bodies, human rights bodies of the entire world. And this is one service where you meet the top leaders of the world at close quarters. I mean, when your ministry is interacting or the Prime Minister is interacting with the President of America, you are there because you are the one who has to follow up the entire thing, after the Prime Ministers or the Presidents discuss. So you meet the leaders, world leaders. And of course, IAS is not the only one. You get into the foreign service. You make the foreign policy for the country. You make friends with so many countries and the diplomats there. Take the revenue service. I mean, revenue is the backbone of any development. Income tax, customs duties, and all these things. Now, unless you have sound policies, your taxation base would be gone. I mean, you won't be able to recover anything. So that is the difference between collecting the tax and making a policy to collect the tax. These things. Whether it is the railway account service, the railway, other services, information and broadcasting service, Indian economic service, the forest service. You take any service, in every level, you reach the top of the position. And you have the privilege of making the policy and seeing that it is implemented properly. That is the thrill of this. And seeing your country grow from strength to strength and then achieve a number one position in the Committee of Nations. Now, people ask me, is everybody suitable to get into the IAS? Is that okay? Or do you, right. I think you can cut that portion again. I can start. Third segment. అవును 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 that also I would come.
That will be the last question. So what if they don't get into IAS?
Right.
After doing 4 years or 5 years with you,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, sir. We want.
Another question people ask is everybody suitable, every student suitable to get into the IAS? In my opinion, no, everyone is not suitable. There are some who are suitable to go become engineers. There are some who would like to be doctors, who would make first-class doctors. And some people would make first-class entrepreneurs, businessmen. But some people do make first-class administrators, IAS officers, IPS officers, and all that. What is the quality that you require? The quality that you require is, I think, a social consciousness is the most important thing. You must understand how the society runs, how the society functions. What is society? Society is people. As Gurujada Apparao has said, Desamante Mattikadoi, Desamante Manushuloi. I mean, you must feel for the people. What are their problems in their daily life? What is it that they want? How can you improve the standard of living of the people? And unless you feel for them, you can't be a good administrator. You must have a feel for them. And that you get to know only when you understand not merely your mathematics, your physics, or your chemistry, but the interaction between people. The society consists of there are men, there are women, there are the majority religion, the minority religion, there are tribals, there are scheduled castes, and then there are marginalized sections. There are regional differences in the same state. One part of the state is extremely well developed, another part is not developed. Now, how does this happen? How do you even out these things, these differences between various people? If a particular class is growing strong and rich, and the other class is not going strong, it leads to imbalance in the society. It leads to clashes. It leads to heartburn. And these are the things which ultimately end up in, destabilizing the society and leading to revolutions too. So what you need to do is, you need to first understand, why does this happen? And after understanding them, you should be able to devise your policies. Then only you would be able to devise policies to see that there is an inclusive growth, what we say, that everybody, if the economy is growing, everybody must have a share in it. Everybody must be able to participate in it. And then lift the entire thing. And for this, as I said, you must mix with people. You must have an open mind. You must be communicative. You must talk to 10 people. You must have that ability to network. And more important than that, you must understand what is happening. Then you must also know how the government runs generally. I mean, this is not something which you learn after getting into the IAS. Now, where do you get your resources, funds? What type of taxations do you raise? What is the responsibility of the state government? What is the responsibility of the central government in collecting the taxes? Now, the tax policies, can they be regressive? In the sense, the rich people and the poor people, suppose they pay the same type of general taxes. Income tax, of course. If you are rich, you pay more taxes. But look at sales tax. Whatever you buy, you pay the same rate of tax, whether you are poor or whether you are extremely rich. Now, is this correct? Now, you must keep on questioning, So, all indirect taxes. Now, how do you design the tax? Should it be sort of progressive? Can they be regressive? How do we avoid the burden on the poor people? All these things. Then how do various tiers of government work? How does the federal government work, union government? How does the state government work? How does the municipal government work? Panchayat Raj systems work? All these things. So, I think the quality is, you should know what is happening around the world, not only in India, around the world. What are the relations with America to India? Why is American relations to India important? What is happening between India and Pakistan? What are our relations with the neighbors? So right from student days, if you develop an insight into these things, getting into the IAS or being